Well, after a fairly quiet January, in fact, La Crosse saw the least amount of snow in its recorded history. Our pattern is starting to be more active, and it looks like it'll even be active throughout next week, although there'll be dry breaks between it and some colder conditions. But we have one opportunity for snow coming tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Not a lot for most of the area. Once again, I think it'll be more centered for Eau Claire area like it was the past one, but it will be dry for most of Wednesday, actually milder too. The evening commute could be impacted, but I think a lot of it may fall after the evening commute. We could be that freezing drizzle, kind of like we had Saturday night in some areas. Doesn't amount to too much, but a little on the roads would cause some issues. And then going into Thursday, that's when the wind will be probably the story. Although it'll probably be dry, that wind definitely will be gusting out of the west direction, followed by a quiet Friday too. We'll have actually more sun to start off than I thought originally expected. It's going to take a little bit more time for the cloud cover to really thicken up. It'll probably be towards noon or thereafter where skies will be totally overcast. For some areas further north you go, it may take until the afternoon hour. But here's a little bit of that snow showers beginning to develop right after 3 crossing the Mississippi. As we get closer to the evening commute, it's going to be some areas further west and north you go that might see a little bit of snow. Areas to the south towards Volksfield, La Crosse, and south towards southern Wisconsin, that's when you might see a little bit of freezing drizzle mixed in. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s near 30, so we could see some of that continuing. I think continue on, we'll see a lot more of the shower activity expand across Eau Claire up to Rusk County. Further south, it's more scattered. We also could mix in a little bit of freeze and drizzle. This will continue throughout about 2 or 3, and I think by that point, by 3 or 4, most of it will push to the east. We could still see a little bit of flurry activity through the morning commute, maybe a little bit of freeze and drizzle, but most of the activity will be done. It'll be really the wind will be the story, and then we'll see clearing skies later on Thursday for a lot of areas. Now, snowfall, it's really centered towards the north. It's come up a little bit really from about Red Wing to Eau Claire, then further north up to about just south of Ladysmith is where an area of maybe 2 to 4. I think it'll be more on the lower side than what we saw with the previous system, but still very similar. Further south to go, less than an inch potentially for a lot of areas. Freeze and drizzle wise, we'll see some of that down here. So very similar to Saturday's event, kind of in snowfall going into Sunday. We're looking at freeze and drizzle, really this trace to about 1/10 is further south. So we're talking Viroqua, Decorah, down to Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. They do have advisories out, but you got to get into northern Illinois to where they could actually see some actual 1/10 of an inch or more. So if you look at road conditions, it's really the potential for seeing any snow-covered roads would probably be late night, past midnight. Otherwise, we'll have slick spots. They could continue to Thursday morning, but that's when the wind becomes a story out of the west direction. So that's kind of what we're seeing with road conditions. Speaking of those winds, here what we're looking at 3 a.m., we're already seeing gusts above 20, and then by the time we get to midday and 5 a.m., we're seeing gusts close to 30 to the west, and then as we get later to around the noon, we're looking at temperatures, potential wind gusts that could be 35 to 40 out of the west. So that'll be the story for Thursday. There's your temperatures for tomorrow. Should be actually getting close to average, and we're going to see temperatures then even better for Friday too. And then we have the snow coming into Saturday, which we'll definitely have to pay attention to. That could cause some travel impacts. So if you got travel going on Saturday, definitely pay attention to the forecast. And then getting colder next week.
Sure looks that way.
Yeah, it's back to winter.
Thanks, Craig.